Oh, it's bloody hard work here, everybody. It's bloody hard work, honestly. I said to the wife, "Come on, Sue, can you switch the light off? Because everybody will see my grey hairs." And what happens? I say it's 2030, and she says, "No, it's 8. It's 2029." How argumentative is my darling wife? She says to me, "No, it's 8:29." It's not. It's 8:31. I hate being late. I like to come on time. Sorry, that didn't sound right, did it? Me and my freaking thinking. Oh, Leanne Vine, first in the house. Abigail French, Charlie Tango 1, Tracy Dodds, Graham Allison, Julian Lees, Adam Hudson, Peter Piper, Gary Marriott, and Tim Weston. Good evening, all. How are you? How are you all doing? How are you all doing? Are you feeling fit and ready for a good evening? So I was very, very disappointed with the comments in the group about our friend Dale McCluskey. I was so disappointed. I think we had 2 comments on the Dale McCluskey sit down conversation with golf trainers. And let's be honest, I've been listening to so much lately that I'm beginning to think I'm wasting my time, completely wasting my time trying to educate people. When you listen to the Dale McCluskey sit down where he actually gets somebody to interview him, and he says, no one's ever offered to interview him before. You've been watching me for a while, and I haven't spoke about Dale McCluskey for a while, have I, everybody? But let's be honest. If I came on here on a Wednesday evening and then people left the comments in the comments page, and 95% of them were negative, and they were saying things like, the guy is just so full of salad, word salad. What the hell is the guy talking about? This guy likes the sound of his own voice. Hey, some people accused me of that in the past. Um, the comments. If you did a live feed with someone and they wrote those comments, I think Jamie Pullin actually wrote a comment on it, didn't he? And I think one other person, Graham, I think the only 2 people who wrote comments on it. I thought it was absolutely fascinating. Fascinating to the point that a little bit of knowledge can be dangerous. And there is a little tiny bit of what Dale McCluskey says that I agree with him. But I got to honestly say that there's so much that I disagree. But without someone having a platform, and that's what he was looking for, a platform. And I offered him a platform. I offered to have the debate with him, but he didn't want to debate with me. And yet, when you listen to if you listen to the whole 2 hours of this conversation, you would understand how confusing it must be for the average person, let alone. Oh, look at Sue. Sue, you. Hi, Leanne. I mean, what's going on here? I need to watch it. It's on my top list. To-do list. I don't think you do. I think you'd get totally confused. But the whole point of it is I wanted people to listen to it, knowing that nobody is going to make any sense of any of the shit that he comes out with. But I then asked you, once you've listened to it, to go and read the reviews, the comments. Now, let's be honest. I think that I'm not a snowflake. If people don't like you and they want to say they don't like you, they've got every right to say they don't like you, haven't they? They've got every right to give their opinion. I found the Dale McCluskey interview exceedingly tiring. Neither would he let the other finish, and it swapped all over the place. I couldn't do 2.5 hours. had another 40 minutes. He chats absolute shite. Yeah. I need to ask a question. Leanne, go for it. Is it about wife swapping? Is it about group sex? Feel free, Leanne. Go for it. Ask a question. Ask a question. I mean, it's far more interesting than Dale McCluskey. Okay, brilliant. I will take your advice. Much appreciated. No, you want to watch it, and then you'll realize that how simplicity is the key to success. Simplicity is the key to success. Oh my God, you're being filthy. Obey. We have a caravan. Yeah, we have a caravan. Yeah. Are we still doing the wife swapping parties like we used to? No, Sue went off them. She just found that I got too excited.
Excuse me, this is worldwide.
Oh, sorry, she said it's worldwide. Sue said I can't. For when people want to come down for training. Well, we started off a swingers group, but it died off. I burnt them all out. I burnt them all out. Carry on. Listen, you could have sent me this message in private, couldn't you? But you just had to do it in public, didn't you? You had to do it in front of everyone. Good evening, Karen. How are you? Evening, Sue. Good evening, all. Evening, Sue. What about Chris? What about evening, Chris? You're not. Eh?
You're all.
What?
You're all.
I'm all. So Sue's special, is she?
Yep.
There you go. How about that? Karen. We're not doing the wife swapping like we used to. She's worn out. She had that many invites. I never. I got none. No one turned up for me. They turned up for Sue. And she said, "This is ridiculous, Chris. I'm just being worn out." Good evening, Chris. Oh, thank you very much. That's very nice. Yeah, I feel so much better.
Great.
Yeah. So what I was saying until I was rudely interrupted about do you want to share a caravan? You could have spoke to me in private about this, Ian. Honestly, this is just this is. Do you know what? There's certain spaces in my head with little boxes, and I've had to put everything I want to talk about, Liam, about the caravan in this box and put a lid on it. Right? Is this side? I think I can't remember which side it is. Oh my God! They got wet as well, did they? Why not? Evening, Chris, because you're not fair-haired and under 50. Yeah, exactly. This is the problem. Hey. Martin Lawrence, good evening. Good evening to you, sir. How are you? Anyway, what I was talking about is just imagine that you put up a video, Piper, get down on for a chat, says Peter Piper. Yeah, exactly. And I've done it. I swear to you, haven't I? I've asked him, I've begged him, I wanted him to come on and give him a platform because he's desperate for views, isn't he? He's desperate. And the poor bloke, he's got. I thought I was hard. No, hang on. We're not talking about the caravan. I thought I was hard when people throw comments at me, and I don't fucking get really upset about them. Like I don't like throw toys out the pram and want to commit suicide. But you've got to be careful these days, don't you? You put something up on the internet, and like I said years ago, you used to be able to put a thumbs down, like what the frick was that? And you used to be able to put a thumbs up. But they realised that you had people so triggered that they would go into pieces and need therapy, need psychiatric help because somebody put a thumbs down on something they've done. But if you watch that video and you can't be bothered to watch it, then just go and read the comments. 95% of the comments, I would say 95%. They do, Adam. They get triggered over nothing. 95% of the comments are like, what the fuck was that bloke talking about? Talk about freaking word salad. Talk about, I'll be in touch if I can come over. Stop it, Leanne! Keep it between you and me and Sue!
I'm sure she does it purposely.
I don't mind 3 in a bed, but not in public.
I'm sure she does it purposely.
I'll be in touch. Can I come share you? No, you can share my bedroom. No, we draw a line there because I'll tell you what, you couldn't last a night with me. We have to like get you pissed and then send you back to the caravan. What? Julian, thrilled with that little. I forget. Yeah, it's just perfect on my 6-inch rod. Stop it, you lot! You 6-inch, 6-foot rod. Sorry, Karen. I thought you said little when you said. I thought it was inches. Like Haley said. Like Haley said, big bollocks, small cock. It's one of the reasons why I've set up my own Facebook page. Too many people get triggered about the truth. Yeah, you're dead right, Gary. You're dead right. I see that somebody else I know has set up a Facebook page for Labradors. And they want people to send in their videos and share their videos and put up their progress with their Labradors. Each to their own. Each to their own. You've got to. If Dan McCluskey was giving out information that was good, he'd have a big following. Because you can't knock him for putting up videos, because he puts up fucking 30, 40 videos a week. But he's still got the same amount of followers that he had 10 years ago. And he thought, I'll go on a live feed and I'll get some more followers. But if you read the comments that he's getting, you'd just be suicidal. You'd be like, it ain't ever talking again about dog training with the following I'm getting. Now, I promote people who I recommend. But if you're taking a puppy from like 12 weeks of age and starting to train it, and you suppress it and you turn it into a very, very average working dog, then how can I promote you if my ideology is different than yours? It's not that I'm being funny, but my ideology is different. And let's take Dale, for instance. Dale doesn't do anything out of his garage with a dog that I've seen. And all he does in the garage is tug on lead, says nothing to the dog, doesn't communicate with the dog, doesn't correspond with the dog. And all it is tug, to the point he switches the dog off completely because the dog gets so freaking confused. And then he's telling everybody on the internet that every trainer that I've ever recommended, and some of them that I haven't recommended, I give him that, doesn't have a clue. They don't have a clue. They don't know what they're doing. They don't know. And we're talking about positive. We're talking about food-based trainers. We're talking about balance trainers. We're talking about all sorts. And he doesn't want to put himself in any category. He wants to just say, I am Dan McCluskey. I have every answer. I'm writing books. I've had one dog when I was in the police force 30 years ago. And the shit that comes out of his mouth is phenomenal. It's absolutely phenomenal. He slags off Ivan. He slags off Larry. He slags off everybody and anybody that is on the internet, except he doesn't put up videos showing you how to do it. And yet he's got 400 followers. Thinking, stinking. Hey, Jay, you watched it. Thinking, stinking. Thinking, stinking. But he keeps repeating himself about like a spoiled child that you've got to pay to take the dishes out or freaking mow the lawn. A dog is not a freaking child. They haven't got the same capacity. Then I read some of the comments, and some of the comments it says he's a purely positive only trainer. He's not. How can he be purely positive if you're in the shed and you're destroying drive before you start? If you're suppressing drive before you start, you're teaching the dog to switch off. Now, you might want to teach a pet to switch off, but we don't want to switch a gun dog off completely, do we? Why would we want to switch a gun dog off completely? We wouldn't, would we? When we click our fingers, when we blow that whistle, when we put that bag on us, we want that dog to come alive and go, yes, we're going training. Not drop its freaking head, drop its tail and go, what the fuck is happening today? I'm totally confused. And what Dan McCluskey is doing is creating confusion. But he's saying dog training is not training. It's building that relationship between the dog and the human has got to show the authority and the leadership. So he's got a certain part of his training right, but I would not be asking him the questions that other trainers who gave him a platform gave him. I'd be saying, how do you sleep at night knowing that the comments that follow a live feed that you put up are so degrading towards yourself? Why have you not looked at it and thought, I need to change my mindset, I need to change my approach? Because 95 or 98% of people are not getting the bigger picture. It's understanding the level of drive and balance when we do certain things and why we do them. Isn't that called foundation training? Hang on, Stevie baby. He reckons he doesn't do any training. Dale reckons he doesn't do any training. It's all about the relationship. Now, the relationship is a big part. How about the argument, you don't teach them anything? If you get into their head, they already know how they came across. Exactly. And what I'm saying, Jamie, as I put it up, not to embarrass the bloke, but as a learning curve for people to understand that you can talk all. I accused him of putting up psychobabble 8 years ago. It's just psychobabble. Explain to me what you're trying to say, Dale, in layman's terms. You can't. It's psychobabble. You're trying to act as if you're an authority of dog training. Is it not the mindset he needs to change? It's his career. You're dead right, Peter. You're dead right. Even I can smell the bullshit. That's it. It's full of bullshit. When the bloke asked him the question, what's your background? What have you achieved? Where have you come from? One dog, it was probably, I can't say this for certain, but probably trained by somebody else, given to a police officer. Let me just tell you a little story. You have to contact Ray in the group if you're interested. Ray knows a young girl who's sold a cocker to a police officer, and he's brought it back at 9 months old and said it's thick. My opinion straight away, do you mean the officer was thick, or the dog is thick, or do you mean it's fat, like thick? And Ray said, no, I think thick, got no brains. But the officer, that's nothing unusual. That's nothing unusual. And I said, well, how have they come to that conclusion, Ray? And he said, that's exactly what I thought, Chris. Exactly what I thought. Now, in our group, that dog is going to be offered up free of charge to somebody in the group who would like to take on a young cocker, no charge, to give it a good start in life, give it a good home. But it's not for everybody on the internet. But we'll be talking about it, and we'll be putting up pictures, and we'll be advertising it in our group. For one reason, because there'll be so many people, I'll have it. They just want to fill a space in their life. See Adam Husband's show away, dog or bitch. See, instantly, dog or bitch. Freaking wait till freaking live feed. I don't want to say too much, Adam. But what I said to Ray is, hang on, Ray, we'll advertise it in our group because we know we've got people in the group who can give that dog a good start in life instead of it's 6 months old and it's been taken down the freaking wrong road. I've said it many a time, and yes, it doesn't make you popular sometimes. Just because you're an ex-police officer or ex-police dog handler doesn't mean you're a good dog person, because they've been brainwashed. They've been brainwashed into thinking what they want them to think. So they haven't got an open mind. Will they part exchange a Springer? No, but I will. I'll get this cocker off Ray for nothing, and I'll part exchange the Springer for the cocker. Just give me $1,000. I just told you it was for nothing. I may have a home for it. I have a gamekeeper friend who wants a dog. I will train it. Fucking, do you know what I mean? Why couldn't you talk to me in freaking private, you lot? You're like begging. I'll have it. I want it. If Ray's watching this, Ray said he's coming on tonight, he'll be masturbating. Oh, he's on. Okay, Ray, take no notice of them. Let them come on to freaking Corleone Talk or Patreon and talk about it, Ray. Not on here. My biggest fear is if I died, my dog ended up with a bell cap. What? What's a freaking bell cap? There goes another Gary. Fucking legend. So what I'm saying is, Ray hasn't come on the freaking on the live feed and gone, listen, we're giving away a dog for free, because not many people do that. They want to sell it, don't they? They want to make money on it. But this girl just wants it to go to the right home who had it, and the policeman's brought it back after 6 months and said it's sick. The dog's sick. Well, I'm sorry, but 6-month-old dog, you're not going to give it much of a chance, have you, really? So who's the bell end? The bell cap or the bell end, Karen, you're on about? I think you mean that, don't you, Karen? I think it's something up north, isn't it? My biggest fear is if it died, my dog ended up with a bell cap. A bell end, you mean? That's what we say. I'm trying to decipher what you said. I've never used the word bell cap for bell end in my life. Yep. Oh, thank fuck for that. Do you know, my brain was clicking, thinking, what the hell is a bell cap? Is it something they put on the head when it's got a fucking bell at the end? They're going ding, 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 ding. Yeah, so what I'm saying is, like, we reach out to help people. Another thing is, I don't know if any of you saw Penelope Penn's feed this week with a dog that she had in her house, shaking like crazy, been mistreated, abused, was so skinny. It was mentally not right. You could see it shaking. And that was a very, very sick dog. And she reached out and gave that dog some affection and some caring at her house. That girl is a legend, Sue says. She's a diamond. She's a diamond. Not a rough diamond. She sparkles. She cares so much for the dogs. She works in is another diamond. Yeah, exactly, Karen. She works in the rescue centre, you know, where she's rehoming dogs and she's helping people and she's teaching people. And she's not a snowflake. She says it the way it is, but she reaches out and she shows so much emotion and caring for those dogs. And it was sickening and sad to see Fair smoking too. You dirty bastard, Karen. She scrubs up quite well for her age. She kill me. She freaking kill me if she sees that. She's definitely not a snowflake. No, she's not, Gary. And you know, that's the important thing in it. You know, people come into your life sometimes and they are genuine, decent people. I deal with so many people, and you can't get to know everybody personally, can you? Unless they come in to stay in the caravan. Shut up. Shut up. A spade is a spade with Pen, and she'll tell you to your face. Exactly. And I felt so sorry for her because they had to put that dog down. And she had that dog in her house, and she was struck, and it was laying on her, and she gave it some loving before it went. I don't know whether she knew that dog was on death row, as in they decided to put the dog down, but the dog was malnourished. It had terrible fucking skin problems. It was like a skeleton, and it was shaking like crazy. And she put it out, and she gave it a wonderful last few days. And I take me out off because that must break your heart when you do that for that dog and you think it might make a recovery. It might be rehomed. I looked at the dog and I thought that's a very, very sick dog. And unfortunately, they come to the decision that it wasn't fair on the dog. The kindest thing was to do is put the dog down. And I bet you Pen is in peace over that because she's such a caring person with dogs. She loves to train. She loves to help people. She reaches out to help people. And a credit to her. So let's have a congratulation. Let's send her some love, shall we? If she watches this, sometimes she comes on, sometimes she doesn't. But you know, we deal with some wonderful people in this game, don't we? yet we deal with some freaking arsewipes as well. Arsewipes as well. And going back to, yeah, okay, you're dead right. Going back to Dale, I feel sorry for the bloke. I feel sorry for him. I think that he's so desperate to be liked and to be wanted. And I think with society, you don't know deep down, do you? You know, you might see somebody on the internet, but you don't know how mentally ill they are or sick they are. And Dale might not be able to cope with pressure, or he can cope with pressure, because you don't know, do you? Because if I sat and read those comments after doing a live feed, now if you've got 1 or 2 comments, you have to live with it, don't you? It's life, isn't it? You're not going to find everybody likes your method of thinking or your way of training. But if you watch that video and then read the comments, you have to watch some of the video to understand how the psychobabble just got so carried away with Dale, and he couldn't listen. He had to try to overtalk the other guy all the time instead of listening. Even when the guy was agreeing with him, Dale was still arguing with himself. And I thought to myself, Dale, you've shown yourself for these true colours what you really are. And no one has to be nasty about it, but you've done it, Dale. You've put your head above the parapet and you've been shot at. How much time each day should I work with my new puppy? Oh, thanks, Pete. I was halfway through a freaking conversation there with everyone, and you're asking me that question. Pete, we'll go back to that in a minute. How much time each day should I work with my new puppy? How old's your new puppy? Susan in the background. That's that one, Pete. Look, and Karen's asked. Are they freaking texting each other, them two? Is Sue and Karen texting each other? How old, Pete? Come on, Pete. I've 10 weeks.
What do you want it for?
Oh, here we go. Don't you say that, Karen. If you freaking say that, you've been seeing my wife. Go on, then. Karen, you've not said it. You've not said it yet. Sue said, what do you want it for, Pete? And she's got...
Yeah, we are.
Bloody busted. No wonder she's been feeling randy lately. I'm watching a brilliant thing on the... what do you call it?
Shih Tzu, that's a dog, isn't it?
Shih Tzu. On what's that freaking thing we watch on telly? What's it called? We watch the films.
Netflix.
Yeah, Netflix. I was on Facebook, and there was a number of people saying there's this program on Netflix that's absolutely filthy, with people giving each other one, and the sex is unbelievable, and it's disgraceful, and Netflix should be banned. And then people come in and said, if you don't want to watch it, don't fucking watch it. I'm booked in first, Chris. I'm booked in. Yeah, don't worry. You come first, Leanne. Don't worry. What's it called, says Kieran? No. I'm not going to tell you, because you'll all be flicking off and watching it. It's absolutely hilarious. Now, I gotta be honest here. I didn't really like that. What's it called? It with the domineering.
You were talking about Shades of Grey.
Yeah, Shades of Grey. I just thought it was too glossy shit for me. This is quite funny. But it's got some sexy scenes in it, and so it's got a good story to it as well. And there was people writing in, and the only reason I went across and watched it is because of people writing in going, that is freaking disgraceful. That should not be put on Netflix. Hang on, you got parental control, and if you don't want to watch it, if you start watching it, and then someone's banging someone on a bonnet of a car, then don't freaking watch it anymore if you don't like the fucking car being damaged. What's it called? It's scary. How about that? So anyway, I was quite enjoying it. And this woman was breastfeeding, and she was taking off milk off the pump, off 2 pumps on her breast, and she was taking the milk off, and she was having an affair with a bloke in a car, and she started riding him in the car, and then the breast milk started pouring out of her. He took her bra off and smacking him in the face, and it turned him off. Now, come on, guys. Come on, let's be honest now. would that stop you in your tracks if you're in a car banging a beautiful girl? I'm not saying the wife or the girlfriend. No, just imagine you were single. Just imagine you were single. So far, so good then. Yeah, exactly, Pete. We'll get there in a minute with your 10 weeks. We'll get there. 10 weeks? I thought it was 9.5 weeks, that film. Shut up. Right. So what I'm saying to you is, who would get really, really disheartened and not be able to get it hard if you get some titty milk in your face? It'll be a double trouble, won't it? Never answer a question straight.
Adam, he's talking about.
There we go. Let's go back. Let's forget the sex. Honestly, I was getting carried away again, wasn't I? You'll all be searching for it now, won't you? Adam, have you been chatting with Dale? Pete, 10 weeks old. It should be with you 24/7. You should sleep in your bed on your pillow. It needs lots of toys, and it needs to say hello to as many dogs as possible. Doggy daycare is essential. Listen, Pete.
Don't take any notice of him.
Pete, take no notice. 1 or 2 what? Milk and honey. Yeah, exactly, Graham. Milk and honey. What a turn on. You could be freaking feeding at the same time as, yeah. Anyway, he got really got upset and he lost his freaking stiffy.
Pete's listening.
Oh, sorry, Pete. Pete's still on it, is he? Listening. Okay, Pete. Let's go back to Pete's question, shall we? How much time each day should I work with my new puppy? Well, Pete, we've already worked out it's 10 weeks old, right? And let's just say, have you mentioned to us? Here we go. I don't have Gary Marriott's number as I've moved, I believe. Listen. Gary Marriott and Ray, you need to get together in private and have a conversation. I'm sure Gary Marriott can get hold of Ray because his number is the same. Thought you were looking trimmer as Sue's been working hard. Honestly, Leanne, that means I've been working hard. I will message you. Gary, get a freaking room, you two. This is a live feed. Get a room and get it on. Who said that? Let's get it on. These selling fucking love hearts now. I will message you. There's love hearts going up everywhere. Or is that Leanne?
Why do they come up?
I don't know. I don't know if that's Leanne for me for the caravan.
In your dreams.
Yeah, you're right, Adam. Just Google the perfect man. Gary's number will come up. I don't have it, Gary. Ring him, Gary. Ring him. Send him a message, Gary. Technology we have, but not on here. Don't give his number on here because he'll be inundated with freaking people looking to rescue. Hang on, we didn't say rescue, did we? At no point did we say the dog needs to be rescued. We said the dog needs a good working home and the dog needs a good start in life. We didn't say the dog needs rescuing, did we? Hey, we never used, we never tugged on your heartstrings, did we, Gary? And said the dog needs to be rescued. It's me for Ray. What?
Poor Pete. Sometimes,
Pete, it gets freaking worse. Just trust me. Pete, you'll have to join Patreon. You can find loads of puppy videos on Patreon, Pete. So, Pete, tell us a little bit more about yourself then. What do you want this dog for? Like we keep fucking asking you. Come on, Pete. Is this a dating site? No, we're still freaking waiting. We're just filling in spaces while we're waiting, Pete. Oh, here we go. Karen's telling you. Introducing the tennis ball, make it fun. Giddy voice. What do you mean, get pissed? Narrow hallway. No, you need a back passage, Pete. Even if the dog's loving it, stop. Pete, Karen, we are waiting. Pete's laughing. We are waiting for Pete to tell us what he wants the dog to be. Oh, thank you, Gary. He's obviously slipped him one, a number I'm on about. Google Mankini Man. Yes, Julian, Mankini Man. You'll find. Susan, can you make that noise again? A Mankini Man. Hear that, Gary? I thought you were perfect. She's a bugger, isn't she? She really says it the way she says it, doesn't she, Gary? Unbelievable. I thought that man bikini was beautiful. Yeah, so the reason I'm asking Pete is I don't mind talking about dog training, but it's quite a simple question. How much time do you spend with your dog? You'll not spend as much time with the dog as you think. But the time you do spend with the dog, if you make it friendly, make it fun, make it a game, the dog will want to play the game. But it all depends what you want the dog for.
Well, he's come back saying a gentleman dog, hunts and great companion.
Hang on. A what dog?
A gentleman dog, hunts and great companion.
Pete, where are you from, for Christ's sake? Have you got a fucking shooting estate or something? A gentleman's dog. Freaking hell. Has anybody ever heard that? Pete wants a gentleman dog. Hunts and great companion.
So obviously he wants a working
dog. Do you see what happens here? A little bit of knowledge makes it dangerous. And she's in the background with a little bit of knowledge and it makes it freaking dangerous. She's now giving me a running commentary what he's looking for. Pete wants a gentleman's dog. Has anybody else got a gentleman's dog? Are you looking for a dog that's not really driven? Are you looking for a dog that will stay by your side? Dog hunts and great companion. I have a gentleman's dog for sale. He's expensive. Brown cocker, talking figures.
What type of dog has he got?
Pete, my spaniel's a gentleman's dog. Fucking right. What sort of dog has he got? Is that what you asked now?
Yeah.
Why don't you go back up and fucking look?
I'm looking.
See what I'm saying? She's asking what sort of dog you've got, Pete. Have you told us?
No. How much time each day should I work with my new puppy? What type of dog is it?
So you know what I'm saying, Pete? I create monsters in the background. What sort of dog is it, Pete? That's what Sue wants to know, and so do we all now. Do you know, Pete? You're taking over the show. Carry on. What sort of dog is it? When you an English Springer Spaniel, and when you say a gentleman's dog, what do you mean by a gentleman's dog, Pete? Come on, Pete. We're on a roll here. We got that answer very, very quickly. Let's see if we can get another one before someone starts talking about sex on here, especially Leanne Vine. Smokers. we don't half act like twats sometimes, all of us. Honestly, I bet the bloke goes, what the fuck did I tune into this for? All I wanted was a simple answer. Has he got a skin coat? That's what you're going to get to begin with. Has he got a pipe and a cravat? Come on.
Poor Pete, he must be wondering what the hell he's gotten into. Stick with us, Pete.
So anyway, but when you're all fucking like trying to work, definitely forgot the hunting for a few months. But yeah, I would if I was you. Get the cravat, the cars, pipe. So like I said earlier, my job title is my gun dog trainer because I train gun dogs. So if you send me a gun dog, I'm a gun dog trainer and I'll train your gun dog. So if you've not messed it, Jesus Christ. Do you know what? I'm there in the background still barking like a freaking mad dog. My spaniel smokes cigars, hunts like a demon, but he's a rubbish companion. There you go. So my job title is I'm a gun dog trainer and I train gun dogs. My main goal is when training somebody's gun dog is to train the dog. So I train it. The dog doesn't train itself.
Poor Pete, he's trying to type, but he can't stop laughing.
Never mind, Pete. Stick with us, Steve. You'll get there. We'll get back to you, Pete, when Sue picks something up that's worth interrupting our swipe here.
Oh God, she's got a new toy today.
Oh, Leanne, stop it. Have you been down Summers again? They've got a sale on at the moment. I've been in there. Knickers and bras are half price. Knickers are coming down in price at Ann Summers. Sue hates me buying anything in Ann Summers. She thinks it's dirty. You realise that in Ann Summers you can actually buy a dildo, take it home, and if you don't like it, take it back. Who the frick is buying second-hand dildos? Who is buying second-hand dildos? I've seen it. I've seen it. I've seen an ad for it. You know, as soon as you go in Ann Summers, I get swamped by freaking women going, "What do you want, sir?" "I want the biggest dildo you can freaking sell." I just love embarrassing them, but they're not embarrassed. No matter what you say to them, they just go, "Yeah, we've heard it all before, dickhead." Peter Piper, stop it. Love honey for Leah. Stop it, you lot. They're coming down because you can't afford elastic. Steve, stop it. You got that joke then. Coming down in price. My title, here we go again. My job title, I'm a gun dog trainer because I train gun dogs. My main goal in training somebody's gun dog is to train the dog. Well, there's a number of people at the moment saying you don't train a dog. All you do is get a bond and a relationship with the dog. You want to listen to this, Pete. You want to listen to this shit. All you need to do is get a relationship with the dog. That's exactly what Adam did. He got a relationship with the dog, and the dog said, "Fuck you." He then learned to train the dog, right? He's trained the dog to a very high standard. He's trained the dog to have plenty of drive and yet got the control. And the real skill is to put the control into the dog, Pete. But guess what? If you start putting the control into the dog at 8 weeks old, like some idiot trainer will tell you, or they'll tell you, whatever you do, don't get the dog retrieving, just get it hunting, you'll come unstuck. Tennis ball launcher.
That's the new toy.
Thank God for that, Leah. I was freaking worried for a minute. Honestly, I thought these messages need to be private, Leanne, because honestly, I'm salivating. I'm like that freaking Pavlov dog when you freaking type sometimes. Pete, Kieran's right. Freaking, but hang on, Graham. It depends what he wants. He wants a little shooting dog. Okay, sounds good. All right, he's getting there. Dale says you don't need to teach it anything. Exactly, Jamie. That's what I'm saying. So you're getting people going from one trainer to another trainer, and they're saying you don't teach behaviors with dogs. I listened to another podcast today. I thought I'll put it up for everyone. I thought, no, it's just too lengthy. Two trainers fighting like two male cockerels, like bitching with each other, and yet really no one was getting anywhere. Now, if I don't watch these things, I can't educate people because I need to show people the pitfalls, not just my way or the highway. And so it's really important. And Pete's got a good point. You know, I've got an 8-week-old pup.
10 weeks.
10 weeks now.
And he says,
oh, God, here we go.
Okay, sounds good. Let a puppy be a puppy.
Only to a certain extent, Pete. Only to a certain extent. If you allow the puppy to take over, Pete, the puppy will take over. No, I'm right, even if I'm wrong. If I want a trained dog for whatever, join Patreon and you will rest. If you don't, you're free to leave. No subscription. Exactly. There's no yearly subscription, is there, with Patreon? And if you want to come in, you can come in. Make sure you take it for a... Oh, no. I freaking... The problem is, with Adam, there were so many people on here believing. We must confuse the shit out of newcomers.
Join Patreon.
Yeah, Karen's right. Join Patreon. Listen, just come in for 1 week, pay £5 or £7, whatever it is, and just go puppies. Just write puppy in the fucking index, and it will give you hundreds of videos on what to do with a puppy, how to bring a puppy on. They'll show you how to put a puppy. Have you ever seen Puppy? Have you ever seen Puppy? Have you ever seen Dale McCluskey outside of his fucking garage with a dog training it off leash? Nope. So someone was saying on there that Dale McCluskey was saying that Cesar Milan and the other guy was arguing that Cesar Milan doesn't use discipline. Cesar Milan doesn't use correction. I'm thinking, hang on, am I watching the wrong fucking videos? Because Martin Dealey, he's died now, he's dead, introduced Cesar Milan into the e-collar, the electric collar, some years ago. And Cesar Milan thought, wow, this is better than freaking ragging the shit out of a dog that's dominant and pushing boundaries, where people are complaining about my way of training. Though it works, they're complaining. What I'll do, because when I hit them with an e-collar, people won't be able to see how much pain I'm giving the dog. And so they won't be able to evaluate what level of discipline I'm giving, where if I physically give a dog a correction, you can see it. And there were so many people for him, but there were so many people against him. And like I've said before, I used to follow Cesar Milan. When I did start following him on that national What's Name channel, years and years ago, I remember saying to Sue, look, there's a guy here who uses correction like I do, and he's actually putting it up on the world web for everyone to see. He's actually showing discipline, Sue, and how it works. I thought I was the only freaking person in the country, and well, he's in a different country, in the world, on the internet, talking about discipline, showing discipline, and showing how discipline works. So, Pete, that doesn't mean you've got to be using firm discipline on a puppy. You wouldn't. But to train a gun dog or to train a dog to a good level, you need guidance. And if you run around the internet looking for everybody's advice and just clicking onto it and trying it, you'll mess your dog up. You forgot the fanny bag full of cheese, Adam. Yeah, he's not mentioned that yet. He's not mentioned that yet.
Give him time.
Give Pete the information about the fanny bag full of cheese. I'll shut up. Not 16 weeks. They'll choke on it. They'll get diarrhea. So what happened is I really wanted Dale, and I tried and tried and tried, because what Dale was doing, he was taking an old video of mine that I still stand by to this day, that nut job in Scotland got hold of, and posted it on every freaking like titty-based freaking breastfeeding site on the internet with people with hormonal problems, saying that this man abuses dogs. Instead of putting the whole video up and showing the whole video, and then going, well, bloody hell, that dog really went well for him after you give it a little bit of discipline for moving. But they didn't explain the whole video like I did. I put the whole video up, and they just edited it and just put where I picked the dog up, smacked its backside, and put it back down on the floor. I didn't pick it up by the ears. I picked it up by the scruff, and I stand by everything I did in that video. And it went worldwide. It went global, and they got on the bandwagon. And that was in the days when you could put a thumb down or tell somebody you want to kill them, or tell other people to go and kill them. But these days, the police are monitoring the internet, and the internet have to monitor what people put up and all that crap. When I feel that everyone's entitled to free speech, and I think the more publicity you get, sometimes is good publicity, but sometimes you don't get the publicity you really want. I need to join. What you need to join? What? Leanne Vine, if you've not joined, you ain't using a caravan. It's simple. People will believe what they want to believe. Exactly, Gary. Exactly. And so what I'm saying is, the positive only gang aren't getting their own way at the moment, are they, out there in the big wide world, in the dog training world? Because they've been exposed for what they are. Because people have called them out, and people like myself and other people have called them out and said, listen, instead of talking shit, put up your videos. Show us your videos. Show us the quality of your dogs, and then let people decide. I remember it well. That's how I found you. There you go. And I stand by what you did in that video. Some dogs need firm corrections. Some dogs are more headstrong. Even every dog is an individual. But you're right to a certain extent, Aaron. But what I'm saying is, if you allow a dog to become slightly naughty by not suppressing the behaviors, but promoting the drive, promoting the desire, then you're going to have to be firmer on them when you put discipline on them. It's as simple as that. If you put discipline into a dog like Dale does, and he holds a lead and he's doing this all the freaking time in his garage, the dog is going, looking at him, going, what the frick are you doing? And what the dog does, it switches off. And that's what Dale's talking about. He doesn't interact and give commands and start training. He gets into the mindset. So say you had a child and your child went into a shop and you said to the child, listen, if you touch anything in the sweet shop or the toy shop, you're not going to get nothing. And the kid touched something in the toy shop or touched something in the sweet shop, and then you bought them a toy or a sweet. And you're defeating what you just said to the child, aren't you? But if you said to the child, if you touch anything in the shop, whether it's a sweet shop or a toy shop, there's going to be a consequence that you don't like. And you continued smacking the kids on the head before it even freaking touched anything, you're going to suppress the kid to even freaking touch anything from the start. But if you taught, okay, now in the background, if you hear it, I have to live with this all the time. I forgot where I am now because it's just all the time. It's like freaking Jesus Christ. Don't come here, Leanne, at the moment. She's got the freaking, honestly, she's got something wrong with her. So what I'm saying is, you can teach the kid in the toy shop. I'm only talking about a kid because Dale is talking about kids, children. You can teach a child, if you touch anything, you're not getting nothing. That's a lesson in itself. Let the kid touch something. Right, okay, you're not getting nothing. We're leaving the shop. That's a message in itself. Why would you be smacking the kid on the back of the freaking head every 2 seconds just so it doesn't touch anything? You know, build the tokens up via gameplay, and then that allows you to use discipline and not destroy the dog's drive. Exactly, Steve. Exactly. But you don't learn that unless you come into the group and you learn how to master a dog. And anybody can ask a question in a group, and we can answer that question for you. And Pete, yes, we've had a laugh with you, but we've tried to sort of show you that it's such an open question. It depends what you want the dog for. You know, how driven you want the dog. You've got to get the dog retrieving if you want to be a gun dog. It's so important than just hunting to begin with. We have so many people. We're just sharing videos with the client at the moment that was told by a so-called successful winning dog trainer that you concentrate on the hunting and not the retrieving. Let's ask that question. We've got 26 people in the house. Who agrees with that or no? No, you've got to get the retrieving into the dog first, or yes, hunting is the first thing you put into the dog. Yes, if you think hunting is the first thing you put in the dog, or no, if you think retrieving. Come on, let's have a little bit of interest here. No, retrieving first. Exactly. And these people have been in the group for a while. They've watched a number of dogs, a number of people, hundreds and hundreds of people, hundreds and hundreds of dogs, and retrieving. You know, hunting is a no without fail. Look, everybody is saying no, and retrieving is so important because with a dog that doesn't want to retrieve, the dog that only wants to hunt, you've got a real problem. So if you go to a trainer who says to you, "Oh, listen, mate, I know everything about training. You need to go and get that dog hunting first. Tap into the hunting first." Right? Now, you could say, is retrieving natural? It's not natural to retrieve and bring it back to you. It's natural to perhaps go and get it and eat it. Put it under a tree and eat it if it's live game. So we have to start off with dummies first. Teach the dog we want the recall back to us. You wouldn't go straight off to live game because you might find the dog will run off with it and try and bury it and think I'll have it later, or try and eat it, especially if it's a cocker. If it's a pointer, it'll be gone over the hill by you go too far. Right? Retrieving is recall. Exactly. Building the recall. We're making it fun. We're making the chase important to the dog, but the recall is the positive. We're going to tap into that and we're going to build on that. So you have to build a foundation when you're training a dog, and that's what we do. We build a foundation, and that's the most important thing. Now, if people only come on and want to criticize when you give a correction and say that bloke trains with corrections and I can train a dog with love and affection, then put up your videos and show us. Put up your videos and show us, because they're talking bullshit. A dog has to realize there's consequences. Wouldn't it be wonderful? Wouldn't it be so easy if the dog became our best friend and never ever wanted to piss you off, never wanted to, I was going to say blow you off, but some of you get the wrong idea. Right? That's why I use piss you off. You know, even the best relationship, the dog will push boundaries if allowed to. There has to be leadership. And that's exactly what I was saying about what I wrote. And that was the whole point. I was trying to get that out before Sue rudely interrupt me. So I'll just whip through it again. My job, I'm a gun dog trainer because I train gun dogs. I train gun dogs that come in. People say, train that dog for me. It may have a few faults in it, but I say, bring it in about 12 months old. Why don't I say bring it at 8 weeks old? And that's a good question if you think about it. Or who was asking that question? Pete. Why haven't I started training that dog at 8 weeks old? But I have started training that dog at 8 weeks old. I want it to retrieve. I want it to race out, race back, and enjoy that game with me. So I would say to you, at that period of time, you want the dog going out, picking a retrieve, and coming back to you, encouraging it to come back to you, making it a game, making it fun. Don't take it much further than that. That will do to begin with. Build that desire, that drive. So, if you train your own gun dog and get it all wrong, then you come to me to fix the problem. It's always you that I have to fix first, not the dog. I have to address the owner of the dog, because I say, give me a demonstration, and I see so many things that the owner is creating confusion in the relationship. The relationship between the owner and the dog, there's a breakdown. There's always a breakdown. And do you know what? It's the owner, not the dog. It's the owner, because the owner has put the problems or the mindset into the dog and messed it. What? Definitely not. Nagging to the dog gives up. These are all they're still joking about. So, if you train your own gun dog and get it wrong, then come to me and fix it. The problem is, I always have to fix the owner first, not the dog. So technically, I'm a coach. Now, I'm going to tell you a little story. I said it to Sue earlier. I was down Cornwall taking a training class, and I won't mention the guy's name because he sometimes comes on and he's a friendly enough chap. And I had about 20 people that I was doing a lesson for them, for their dogs, for their gun dogs. And they were Spaniel people as well as Labrador people. And I like people to form a group and watch and listen. And then all of a sudden, I will mention Brian Clough in a minute, Steve. And then I looked across, and this guy was hunting his dog up a freaking edge. And he'd taken about 4 people from the group to show them his dog hunting up the edge. And I thought, what are you doing? Why are you trying to disrupt the lesson, the class? I had everybody's attention, and then you decided to take your dog and show off with your dog hunting up the edge. Look at my dog. Look at my dog. You could have done it after the lesson. So me being me, and Steve Morton was right here, Brian Clough, I mentioned a couple of football managers. Have you been watching that England game lately? Have you been watching how Gareth Southgate doesn't want to come on and do an interview when he loses? He don't mind coming on when he's won, but when he's not having a good time, he don't want to come on. Why? Because he's got no bollocks. And what do we say? Never mind the bollocks, show us your dog. And it should be never mind the bollocks, show us your footballers. Overpaid, overpampered, whinging, freaking unbelievable, I thought, England, the last 2 England days. And then when they said Gareth Southgate will be coming on to say something, he couldn't have the balls to come on and say, listen, I'm experimenting. I know we've not played well, but just turn around and say, I think we did really well. It's a freaking farce. So going back to that bloke on the training day, I did a Brian Clough. And I know this firsthand, but actually, because I come from Derby and Brian Clough lived in Derby, and he was manager of Derby and Nottingham Forest. In that period of time when I was in Derby, I knew Brian Clough through football and played Sunday League football. And Brian Clough didn't hold punches. Brian Clough said it was the way he saw it. But that's why he wasn't England manager. Now, who would have made the better England manager? Brian Clough or this freaking Gareth Southgate, who wants to be a people pleaser? Who wants to be a people pleaser? And when everything's going right, it's like fantastic. Did you see that last-minute goal he scored? It was like all the tension came out of his body. It was like, you got me out of the shit. Because if that was 2 games we'd lost, we would have been in real trouble. Yeah, exactly. I'd rather have Brian teaching me. But Brian said it the way he saw it. So I said to this guy in front of everybody, now, did I go out of my way to embarrass him? No, I was pissed off with him. So I said to him in front of everybody, I made a comment, and I said to Sue, I wouldn't have made that comment now because society can't take the shit. Society can't take the shit that you say. At the end of the day, I confronted him and I embarrassed him that much. He didn't speak to me for 3 years. But what I said to him was so true. And it's exactly the same as Brian Clough. And I made that comment about being a coach. And I said to him, you come into my class that I'm giving for free for the club to teach people, and you want to try and impress people. I think if I knocked your teeth out and put seats in and put wheels on your head, you make a good coach. Now, that didn't go down well. I thought it was freaking classic. I thought it was classic. But it was straight talking. It was no different than Gordon Ramsay or Brian Clough. You might not like Ramsay, you might not like Clough, you might think big mouth, that's what he got used to be called. But so many people did appreciate him. David Beckham, who the first started with him?
Karen.
Have you seen Karen? You want to put up a picture of David Beckham and his missus? You think for all the freaking money that bloke's got, he'd feed her. I've never seen such a skinny Spice Girl. She is the skinniest Spice Girl I've ever seen. You'd snap it. I mean, not being funny. I'm not a fan of real fat girls as sex partners. I'm not. I gotta confess. I gotta be honest and straight. And I just upset 60% of the people in the freaking country. Fat boys not impressed with fat girls. But honestly, David Beckham's missus, David Beckham's hot. I'd rather shag David Beckham than his missus. Anyway, talking about that, did anybody watch Breakfast TV this morning? They had a gay marriage on Breakfast TV. Literally a gay marriage on Breakfast TV. 2 blokes literally got married, celebrating 10 years of men being able to marry men. Now, I don't know whether I should say something or not say something. It's live and we've gone over the hour. Don't do football. I don't do gay marriage on live TV, to be honest with you, but each to their own, innit? And if that's what they want to do and they're happy, one of them started crying. I watched it. I sat down and watched it. I tried to get my head around it. No road too muddy for Chris, little buddy. Stop it, Steve. But I tried to get my head around it. These two bald-headed, middle-aged fat blokes who just decided to marry each other on Breakfast TV. Now, if they want to go and get married and they want to do that sort of thing, good on them. That's what I'm going to do. But do I want to be having my cornflakes? I'm not having because it's got sugar in. And I'm watching 2 sweeties giving it large that I love you on freaking Breakfast TV. What's the hand on about here? Definitely, Sue. What's he saying, Sue? David Beckham's art. Is that what it's about?
Yeah.
Oh, that's it. Just ignore me then. You can freaking go and stay in a freaking caravan. I don't care anymore. She's just freaking anybody. Is that Leanne, isn't she? Sue says to me, 6 on legs, David Beckham.
second thought and sex on legs, yeah. You went down, so.
Do you know what I mean? Do you know what I mean? It's disgraceful, isn't it? Isn't it, guys? Isn't it? There's supposed to be respect for your husband, and she's freaking saying sex on legs. Have you ever heard her call me sex on legs? And I put so much effort into it. I put so much effort into it, honestly. I just what? What the fuck does that mean, Gary?
He spelled it wrong.
He retracted it.
Yeah, he spelled it wrong. It's too much drink.
Too much drink, Sue said, Gary. Anyway, on that note.
Okay, I'm back. Still talking about sex. Yep, Pete, you're coming just in time.
So what you're saying, Pete? Have you left the auditorium and then freaking decided to come back halfway through? Thanks very much. You've just missed out there.
Just been talking about you.
Yeah, we've just been talking about you, Pete. Anyway, on that note, I hope you've enjoyed this evening. I'm totally freaking confused, to be honest. Next time that we're having sex in that bedroom, I'm going to say, sex on legs. I'll give you sex on legs. It's a doggy promo show. It is. It's a doggy show, isn't it? We're doing doggy tonight. Anyway, on that note, we're all going because you're nearly all gone anyway. It's 5 minutes over the 60 minutes. You're freaking having overtime, you lately. Did you see that with England? They scored in extra time. Have you ever seen a football manager so excited, so emotionally triggered when his team in a friendly bollocks and stop coughing? That's exactly what I said, Graham. She's doing me freaking head in. She's doing me head in.
You're talking about me?
Yeah, he's doing bollocks and stop coughing. Thanks, Graham. I appreciate that. Catch you all later. Thanks for tuning in. Chris Upton signing off. We have talked some shit tonight, haven't we? Good night, all.